We found out we were pregnant with Daniel in 2006, and we were thrilled we were going to have a boy, so we were going to have one of each. And we had no idea throughout the pregnancy that there was going to be any medical issues with Daniel or any developmental delays. Immediately we knew something was different this time around. He cried all the time and he did not want to be held. And it was a much different experience than our firstborn.
There were a lot of tears.
There were a lot of tears because we just didn't know what we were dealing with. Nobody could give us a diagnosis.
It seemed like every month or every couple of weeks we had a new issue to deal with. I mean, Daniel had a cardiologist, a pulmonologist, an eye doctor. It was just like, okay, we'll deal with the symptom or the problem that we have and work with that.
Daniel continued to undergo tests, and he had multiple surgeries early on to improve the quality of his life. But there were still unknowns about his cognitive abilities. As Daniel neared preschool age, his parents were desperate for a diagnosis so they could obtain accommodations for him at school.
We went to the developmental pediatrician and they tested him and they came back with the diagnosis of autism.
Daniel was soon enrolled in a traditional preschool setting near his house. But even on that first day, Laura and Roger had a feeling it wasn't going to be the right place for their son.
I put him in for one day, and when I picked him up, they called him by the wrong name. They couldn't tell me anything he did. And I came home so distraught that I knew that I needed to find something different. So I brought him home that day and I sat at the kitchen table and I opened up a magazine that has services for children around the Orlando area, and Quest was right there at the bottom. It said behavioral therapy. So I picked up the phone and I called and I asked them what it was and if they were willing to see my son, and they got him in for an appointment.
Daniel started receiving ABA therapy through Quest at 4 years old, and his parents were pleased to learn that Quest also offered a school program called Quest Kids Academy, which Daniel transitioned into at the age of 6.
We both were just looking to find a place for Daniel, the right place. Once we met with Melissa and the staff, I just remember coming home and going, man, I think we got it. I think we finally got it.
Our students at Quest Kids Academy range in age from 5 to 22 years old, and we really do have a spectrum of students among our population.
We have a picture of him that very first day. He is smiling from ear to ear because they loved on him, and they loved him where he was at, and they knew he had potential. A lot of times with schools, they babysit kids with special needs. They don't teach kids with special needs. It's a holding place. And this school is different. Daniel was nonverbal until he was 6 years old. He had no words, and he had extreme apraxia. So even if he made sounds, it was all short vowel sounds. And so one of the cool things about Quest is, first of all, Melissa learned sign language for Daniel so that she could communicate. I remember her bringing an ASL dictionary to therapy that was this thick.
We had to modify a lot of his signs so that he could sign clearly and consistently.
They were learning Daniel. They were learning Daniel's language. Not only what he sounded like when he was using the signs, but what his hands looked like, and so that they could communicate with him. And that's when you know that you have people fighting for your kid.
To go from not being able to speak vocally and solely using sign language to now having full-blown conversations and exchanges with his peers and with his teachers, with his family. Daniel has progressed across so many areas: communication, social skills, self-regulation, fine motor skills. He's working on employment readiness and developing his skills for work now. The growth and maturity has been incredible, and it's been an honor to see him grow over the last 13 years.
One of the things that makes Quest Kids Academy different than just a typical school is that in addition to working academics, they also work life skills. They take them out into the community. Every Wednesday, Daniel is part of the work study crew, and they go in to clean the world, which teaches him how to be out in public in a volunteering situation.
I'm really excited about Daniel's transition into the work study program. I'm really excited to see what he chooses as a person, because everyone deserves an opportunity to do something that they enjoy.
They just have a vision for not helping kids just get to graduation, but beyond graduation. And we know that with Quest, that he will be taken care of. We know that he's already established into the family of Quest, and that there will be services in place and a location in place that will help take care of him, so that he can have not just a well taken care of life, but a full quality of life where he has purpose. We've always told him that he would make a perfect greeter at Disney and just wave to everybody and say hello, because that is what he loves.
With the right supports and the right environment, every student can be successful. They just need teachers that believe in them and push them to the best that they could be. And at Quest Kids Academy, that's exactly what we do.
It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes an extraordinarily large village to raise a child with special needs. And those people are our village, and we count on them. And that's invaluable as a parent, to have that kind of support system.
Daniel's just living proof, and I can honestly say I wouldn't know where we'd be without Quest.